Okay. And this video went viral on Facebook where it showed somebody taping the crack up and then putting the plate in warm milk and then waiting for 2 days, and they pull it out, pull off the tape, and the plate has magically come back as a normal plate, no cracks in it whatsoever. So I'm going to see if that actually works. Okay, so now we just need to add warm milk. Okay, it's completely submerged. Now, according to this Facebook video I saw, they had to leave it in there for 2 days. So let's leave it here and see what happens. Okay. And nope. Of course it isn't sealed. Well, we can actually fish a little bit of science out of this stupid video. Milk has a specific protein in it called casein, and it comprises around 80% of the protein in milk. For humans, it's around 50%. So what I'm going to be trying to do today is, instead of trying to fix this broken plate with milk, I'm going to actually be trying to make a plate and a cup out of milk. Okay, so how I'm going to get the casein out of this is I'm just going to pour this vinegar in it, and the vinegar is going to denature the protein. Okay, let's put in about 1/2 cup of vinegar. So you can see after a while, it starts to separate like this. And I should mention that if you're going to try to do this, remember to use warm milk. It helps the reaction happen faster. So now I'm going to filter off this extra liquid, and I just want the casein. Okay, now we just pack all this together. So this is going to turn out being my plate here, and this is going to be my cup. Okay, now I'm just gonna put it in my oven and try to dry out some of the liquid that's in there. Okay, now after letting it dry, here it is, my milk plate. So it turned a little more yellow than I would have liked, and to get it to match a real plate, I touched it up with a little glossy white to make it more plate-like. But you can see how hard this is. Really cool. So this is basically just like a plastic now. Okay, let's see how easy this is to break. You can see I can't bend it. I could probably break it if I tried really hard, but it's pretty sturdy. Okay, so my cup at this point is pretty pathetic, but I'm gonna go ahead with it because I really wanted to drink some milk out of a cup made out of milk. So the fact that I was able to make a plate out of milk is actually pretty interesting, and it's not as odd as you think, because people have been making plastic type materials out of milk since the early Middle Ages. We found that there were people who used casein to make wood glues or even ceramic-like materials. Another thing that casein is used for is as an additive for paint, because it makes paint dry quicker. In fact, Andy Warhol used casein to paint with. In fact, casein has actually been used in the textile industry. So casein has been combined with wool fibers, cotton, and even rayon. So it's a really cool biopolymer that we can make that actually ends up being edible. So even though this is kind of a dumb experiment to try to glue a plate together with milk, it's actually kind of cool at the roots of it. I'm sure that's not what they were thinking, but the casein in milk is actually useful as a biopolymer. Okay, so you can see all this liquid left over. So this isn't just water in here, although a lot of it is water. The rest of it left over is called whey protein. So this is the whey that's left over after milk curdles. But the proteins left in the whey are called globular proteins. And they're a little bit different than casein. They're more water soluble, so they stick with the water instead of forming clumps like the casein did. So you'll notice this is very similar to the cheese making process, and also making yogurt is similar to this. But notice how I made it very quickly, but when you make cheese or yogurt, it kind of takes some time. And the reason is because when you make yogurt or cheese, you're actually using bacteria and yeast. And the bacteria and yeast get in the milk, and they do some reactions in there that form an acid or a base. And that acid and base is what actually denatures the protein. But in this case, I just used vinegar. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.